Hey guys, as promised, I wanted to give you a bit of an update on what's going on with me and what we have decided to do with our next step in becoming parents. So basically, we have decided to go ahead with a fresh embryo donation cycle, which basically means that my donor, the lady who's going to give me her eggs, will go through the IVF process for me. So she will take all the stimulant drugs, she'll do the triggers, she'll do the ER. At ER, they will be cleaned up and fertilized with donor sperm, which has, it won't actually be a fresh sample, it'll be frozen sperm, which is fine. I mean, the fertilization rates don't change because of that. They will also use Pixie, which is basically the same thing as ICSI, where they inject the sperm into the heart of the egg, basically. But it has a bit of a more advanced, I don't know what the word is, more advanced expertise, I suppose, on how it happens. I think they use some form of bonding agent that you would normally get within the body or something. Anyways, it's more advanced, and the chances of success and is greater, and it also lowers the chance of having an embryo that is chromosomally abnormal, apparently. That's what I'm told anyways. I haven't done any research on it, but I figured, hey, let's try whatever we can to get our success. We also plan on doing assisted hatching, which is a fairly normal procedure, but not something I've done previously. We're also going to use embryo glue, and we also plan on using the embryoscope to watch the eggs become fertilized, and then the embryos dividing into their cells and into the blastocyst and all that kind of stuff. By using the embryoscope, they actually don't have to take the embryos out of the incubated area, which helps them remain stable so that growth can happen. It also allows the doctors to choose the best embryos for the transfer. So we're planning on doing a 5-day transfer of 2 blastocysts. Generally, they have no problem with doing a 5-day transfer. They very rarely will have to do a day 3 transfer. So I'm quite happy with that, as previously we have only done day 3 cycles, and obviously we've gotten pregnant, but it wasn't successful. So I would feel much more confident and more hopeful if we could actually do a day 5 transfer. And of course, because all of the eggs are going to be donated to me, and it's not a shared program, the embryos are mine. So if there is any extra embryos left over after we do the transfer, they will be frozen. And if it wasn't successful for some reason, we would be able to do just a frozen embryo transfer with those embryos. So that's pretty cool. And there's several reasons why we have chosen to go on with donor embryos, and the biggest one was I don't respond very well to the stimulant drugs. I have to take very high dosage of the stimulants, like 375 to 450 IUs, and sometimes even more. And I still don't produce a lot of eggs. I also have what is called empty follicle syndrome, and generally at least half of my follicles are empty. In cycle number 2 for our IVF, we had gotten to the egg retrieval, and I had taken a really bad reaction to the anesthetic, and at the same time all my follicles were empty, so they did not retrieve any eggs whatsoever. So that was absolutely devastating. We went on to IVF number 3, and from memory I can't recall for sure. I think I had something like 22 or 23 follicles going in to the retrieval, and they only retrieved, I think, 9 eggs or something of that nature. So more than half was empty. So that was, again, it was devastating. So that's basically our reasonings. Not responding to meds very well. Empty follicle syndrome, my reaction to anesthetic. They will not do a spinal in Prague for me. They would want me under anesthetic. And I just don't want to take that risk anymore. And my husband don't want me to take that risk anymore. So basically, this is our only chance of getting pregnant and hopefully having a child this way. So I'm excited about it. I think it's a great opportunity. I think it may actually result in my baby, and I'm quite pleased to be able to have that opportunity. I know not a lot of people get the chance to do this, especially as in Canada and the US and the UK and whatnot. It is an expensive procedure to have done. However, we're going to be doing what's called an IVF vacation, and because we live in Africa, it's fairly cheap to travel to the Czech Republic. And then, of course, the procedures itself in the Czech Republic don't cost that much in comparison to everywhere else. So because of that opportunity for us, we are able to do this. If we were in Canada or the US, we would not be able to afford to do such a procedure. So that is quite exciting. I am quite grateful that there is no waiting times to have to deal with either. Basically, as soon as I contacted them, they were ready to take me on right away. At the beginning, I had actually planned on doing regular IVF with donor sperm. And then we went through, like different tests, and they read my reports from my doctor here, and then they suggested that we move on with the donor embryos. And their success rates are quite high for donor embryos when they are done in fresh cycle. I think it's something like 60% if you just do regular fertilization and transfer of day 5 embryos. Of course, because we're doing the extras, our chances go up to, I think, something like 70 to 75% of success at getting pregnant. So that is quite a high chance of success, and I am quite pleased with that. Okay, so basically, I am waiting for AF to show up. Once AF shows up, I start birth control, and it's called Marvelon, and I have to take it for 42 days straight. At the end of the 42 days, I should start, like down-regulating, and then adding in the estrogen support, and then later on in the cycle, adding in the progesterone support before the transfer happens. So basically, once I get my period, I email the clinic, and they will let me know what my schedule is going to look like. So once I know that, I will update you on the information I have. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.